If they can vote, tell them what will happen if they don't vote for the climate policy we need now. Tell them the impact we can. We have to make if we want a future. The future generations are depending on us.
Sorry? One of the guys at the office stuff too.
Both parties are trying to appease our mums and dads by saying they will keep the price of electricity low. Both parties know that tax and the cost of living is important to families, to mums and dads. Both parties are afraid to look like they're acting on this issue, and they're afraid Australia's mums and dads think it will cost more. But it will cost more if we don't act now. These politicians also understand that our mums and dads also care about.
They had their speakers across the street out the front of people's offices and had them blaring, so the businesses tried to turn them down and their neighbour hassled them.
Their children's lives, our lives, are at risk. Why are we all here today? Because we care. We're here because we are angry. We're here because we want our representatives in the Parliament to recognise the situation for what it is, a crisis.
We want more. Keep stroking some of it.
By 2050, 250 million people will be displaced with absolute water scarcity, and 2/3 of the world's population will be living underwater in stressed conditions. Just let that sink in for a minute. So, that's how huge this thing is. The reason why I decided to use my voice to demand action on climate change is because my heritage is on the line. I don't want to see people of color or people in general inundated by floods of misery or whatever else is coming down the line. We know that fossil fuels are so gravely dangerous that it threatens our existence.
And those that are three Greens candidates here today, we've been at each of your strikes. We are listening, we are hearing, and we will always think of you and work for you in everything that we do. Fossil fuels completely in Australia and for export in the next 10 years. 100% renewable energy by 2020. That is the absolute minimum that we must do, and we must do it fast. Is that we must elect as many Greens as we possibly can to pull Bill Shorten's Labour Party down off the fence and towards the climate action that we need.
Soldier, Greens, extreme Labour.
We can do that even with lots of Greens in Parliament. Is if you keep this up, if you keep demanding after the election that the government works as hard as it possibly can and works with the Greens to get strong climate action.
This world deserves a better future.
What do we want?
Climate action!
Do we want it?
No!
What do we want?
Climate action!
Do we want it?
No!
So the people who tell us to stay in school, to not engage in activism, and not to be out here learning, are only hurting our ability to learn and our future and our nation. We're nowhere to fix our dying planet with just a bit of money in their pockets now. It's called a crisis for a reason. We came out here to tell us that Sandra and Angelie, what the youth of the world has been demanding. But it's not when there is a deadly threat right now that will worsen exponentially in the near future and will directly affect myself, not only myself, but the entire world, the whole planet. Why do you do it around this under attack? Stand up, fight back! Why do you do it around this under attack? Stand up, fight back! Why do you do it when Ellie Reid is under attack? Stand up, fight back! Why do you do it when the water we drink is under attack? Stand up, fight back!
Kids are holding that sign.
Stand up, fight back! Stand up,
it's ironic that we need the children of the world to be telling the adults running the governments what the hell they should be doing. We need to transition away from coal. It's very clear, the science is showing that, and the economics is saying that renewables offer us that way of doing it, whilst we can have reliable and cheap and clean energy. It's not a myth. We're there. Renewables are getting cheaper and cheaper year by year, so this really should be a no-brainer discussion. But we can move to 100% clean energy by 2030. We can do it with today's technology and today's prices. Coal is not getting cheaper. Renewables are getting cheaper. It's a complete no-brainer. But because I work in renewable energy, because I know that this actually works, and because I'm sick of seeing politicians fail on this time and time again.
There's a party called the Australian Progressives, and we're motivated by ethics, evidence and action. So ethics,
So why are you
the
supporting
government should be
climate
making policy and taking action that's geared towards human beings. We're not an economy, we're a community of people. Let's not make decisions that are about making a quick buck. Let's make decisions that are doing the right thing for our kids, our grandkids and future generations.
Do we have any questions from the crowd?
Sure. How do you plan to solve the problems with solar, with the mining of cobalt and things using pretty much slave labour of children? Because that obviously, unless you're only concerned about people here, if this is a global issue, that is something that needs to be addressed.
Look, the Australian Progressive have a number of policies. We have broad policies beyond just climate change and environment. We're very much...
Because that's tied into environment. I mean, the very acquiring of those materials is using child labour.
So the question is about fair and ethical labour in developing renewable energy solutions such as solar. Very much we are committed to policies around fair work. And
you would have seen the conditions they live in, I'm sure. You would have seen the conditions that mining is done in, I'm sure.
The conditions of mining offshore?
The conditions such as cobalt mining, where you've got small children digging up mud and men with whips standing over them, driving them to exhaustion.
So about child labour in mines.
Yeah, because it's completely necessary. You can't have solar panels, you can't have all this digital without that going on.
Investment in renewable energy, we believe there needs to be more research. We've got policies around investment in research and new technology.
Yeah, child slaves, exactly.
To basically manufacture things like solar panels.
My phone was made using partial slave labour.
Okay, we have a question over here now.
No, don't care. Apparently. Too hard. Too hard basket.
Not yet, but that's on the agenda. Well, I think I'll go home and make some phone calls now. Thanks.
Call them out on their own bullshit. They're the ones saying they're the human rights people.
When I say people, you say power. People. Power. People. Power. I say people, you say power.